Okay, so let's try to understand Bayes' theorem. So we will, as before, we will try to understand this with a simple example. So let's consider three kinds of people. So let's consider a population which has three kinds of people. Let's say they are Chinese, or let's say they are Indians, or let's say the third group is, and then the third group is, let's say, um, somebody from Europeans. Okay, so there are these three groups of people, and let's say Chinese are the like in the entire population. If you pick a person at random, most likely with probability zero point 0.4 you will pick Chinese, with probability 0.4 you will pick Indian, and with probability 0.2 you will pick a European. So this is P of C, this is P of I, and this is P of E. Okay, now let's look at uh, so Chinese and Indians, they are very prone to have small vessel diseases, in particular diabetes. So we will call this as D. So given that somebody is a Chinese, the probability that that person develops diabetes over course of his or her life, this is going to be close to, let's say, I'm cooking up these numbers just to give some idea on the Bayes rule. So let's say this is a number which is 0.2. This seems like a high number, but maybe it is high, maybe it's low, I don't know. So in the group of Indians, so what's the probability? In the group of Indians, you pick a diabetic. So let's write this properly. So this will be, let's say, 0.3 for example, and now given that you are picking a European, this number is quite going to be quite less. Okay, so these are so in the universe of all, let's try to understand this. So universe of all Chinese population, the probability that they have diabetes is 0.2. In the universe of all Indians, probability that they have diabetes is 0.3, and in the universe of all Europeans, probability that you pick somebody who also has diabetes is 0.05. So now I will now try to give a very nice way to visualize Bayes rule. Okay, so what you do is, like, you start by drawing lines of length proportional to the probability. So this is going to be P of sorry. So this is going to be P of C, this is P of I, and this is P of E, right? So draw lines which are proportional to these numbers. So remember, P of C was 0.4, P of I was 0.4, and P of E was 0.2. So I have drawn lines which are proportional to this. This is the first step. Now what you do is, like, you create a population out of this. So we do that by extending this line a little bit to make a rectangle. So let's do that. Okay, so this is how you make a population. Now so the width of this, so this now forms a rectangle, and this height, this entire height here, we assume that this is 1. Okay, so yeah, so now this group is all the group of Chinese, this group is all the group of Indians, this group is all the group of Europeans, right? So now let's put in the second piece of information that is given. Diabetes given Chinese, diabetes given Indians, and diabetes given Europeans. And what we do here is we draw basically so 0.2, let's say it's this, so this is 0.2, and 0.3, let's say it's somewhat here. I mean, I'm not drawing this to scale, but you get the idea. And 0.05, let's say it's here. Okay, so what are these? So we are drawing so this height, okay, this height is so this height, this is probability in Europeans, what is the chance that they have diabetes. That's the first. And this, so let's shade this. So this is diabetes given Europeans, and let's do some more. So this is Indians, so diabetes given Indians, so this is the proportion of diabetes given Indians. Okay, so this height, this one is probability diabetes given Indians, and then finally this height is probability diabetes given Chinese. Okay, so let's shade all the three regions. Okay, now now let's ask some questions and then try to answer this. So what is the first question? So first question that we can ask is, what is the given that somebody is a diabetic, has a diabetics, so what's the chance that that person is let's say Indian? Okay, so looking at the diagram above, it's going to be sum of three regions. So it's going to be the proportion as follows. So let me just take a small pause and then do this. So if you look at the Venn diagram, this is going to be the ratio. So given all the diabetes, people with diabetics, I don't know what they are called. Yeah, so they're certainly, yeah, that is this region here. So this is the sum of all these three regions. And what's the proportion of them who are Indians? That is this region. Now this is a rectangle. The base of which is P of I, the height of which is P of D given I, right? So now we are going to use the things that you learned in school, and now we are going to expand this. So let's do that. So this is, so P of I into P of D given I. And now what is this? This is P of C into P of D given C. Okay, this is this continues to be P of I into P of D given I, and plus what is this? So this is P of E into P of let's write it here, D given E. So this is nothing but the base rule, and for this particular problem you can plug in these numbers and get the required answer. So this is the base rule.